Now at 10, the George Washington Carver Monument holds an African American Trailblazers presentation. Plus, the Carterville Christian Church brings back Food Truck Sundays. And the Sawdust and Sprinkles group spread an early holiday cheer with Christmas decoration paintings.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us. This is your KOAM News at 10. I'm Jalen Banks. The park staff at George Washington Carver Monument held a presentation about African American trailblazers. The presentation went over the lives of iconic African Americans in American history, including Booker T. Washington, Bessie Coleman, and more.
Dr. Charles Drew, he's also a fascinating guy. He was the one who first separated plasma out and was able to be stored, and which is now we go and give blood and it saves so many lives. So all of them, their stories are a huge part, are a huge part of our story, of our history and our culture.
The park staff holds free presentations about American history every 3 months. Carterville Christian Church held their Food Truck Sunday. The event had a multitude of food trucks and vendors. Before COVID, this was something that they were able to do regularly. Now that we're in the post-COVID era, they're wanting to get back to food truck Sundays once again.
Well, the inspiration of this started back, my son used to live in Austin, and being a food truck junkie myself, going down there and seeing the food trucks and seeing the interaction among the people who were waiting to eat, whether they knew each other or not, was really cool. And so when the food truck thing made its way this direction, we decided, hey, this would be a great opportunity for our congregation to spend time together and eat and enjoy themselves. And, you know, looking at Food Truck Friday in Carthage, and anytime there's a food truck event, it brings people together, and I think people have a good time doing it.
The idea of Food Truck Sundays was inspired by the city of Austin. And now we move to weather. Doug, what do you have for us?
Well, it turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperatures into the 70s for highs. Saturday was a little bit chilly, but today was great. 73, normal highs 62. Started at 47. The record on this date is 81 degrees. Temperatures right now, most of us are sitting into the mid 50s. We're going to drop back a little bit more. It's not going to be cold. Kind of chilly. We got some clouds which are increasing across the region, and these will continue to increase later on tonight, and then a lot of clouds for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. Into the morning, 54 by 11, 50 by 7, 57 by 10, overnight low of 48 degrees. Now, we do have some rain chances in the forecast, some on Voting Tuesday, and then again some thunderstorms by Thursday. So, of course, we're going to break that all down for you coming up here in just a bit.
The Sawdust and Sprinkles group is getting ready for the holiday season by painting Christmas decorations on hand-cut wooden boards. It allows local artists in the community to come together, create, and have some early holiday fun.
It's just a little bit more unique because it's all, each piece is its own thing, and I think people, especially the girls that are back there now, I gave them a design. Not one of them looked the same at all, and they're comfortable enough because they've came enough that they know they can sit down and we'll walk through it, and they leave knowing that it looks like them. It reflects their personality and gets them out of their headspace or gets them away from that crazy home life. And I just take a lot of pride in that. I think it's a really neat experience to get to do that with a lot of other people from all walks of life.
Participants describe the event as being therapeutic. The deadline to dry stack your boat is quickly approaching at some marinas across the Ozarks. Madison Horner explains the importance of winterizing your boat to safely return it to the water next spring.
Port of Kimberly and marina staff want to make sure you enjoy your 2023 boating season, but it all starts with winterization. Maintenance manager Brad Blackwell says more than 300 boats have been winterized at its dry stack building so far. Boat experts say there are a few essential tools and products a boat owner may need for winterization, such as antifreeze, motor oil, fuel stabilizer, and oil filter. You should start by draining all antifreeze and excess water from the boat.
The lower units should be stored in the low position, the down position, to prevent ice from building up in the prop and possibly cracking the lower units.
Blackwell says covers should be secured to prevent water from pooling on top of the cover this season.
Batteries should be unhooked and, if possible, stored inside to prevent them from discharging over the winter months.
If you've got a boat that you're not using, get it on the list and get it done. Don't wait till the last minute because everybody is slammed getting them done, trying to get it done before we get real bad weather.
Towboat US says a lot of times insurance companies won't cover any kind of damage that's done from freezing and breaking if your boat wasn't winterized properly.
And if you don't winterize it and you're relying on marine heaters, make sure if the power goes out, you're making phone calls to have somebody check on them because it doesn't take long once the weather gets cold for damage to start happening.
Staff also encourage boaters to go through and clean out any food or drinks they might have had on board. Cans and water bottles can freeze and burst inside, creating a big mess.
We now take this time to honor tonight's four-state hero. Robert Walthall, a Scranton, Kansas native, served in the Army. While serving, he was stationed in Bosnia, Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. He earned the War on Terrorism Medal, National Defense NATO Medal, and a multitude of others. To Staff Sergeant Robert Walthall, we thank you. Tonight's four-state hero. Coming up, a look at the midterms, which are quickly approaching. It is the final weekend ahead of Tuesday's midterm elections. Candidates in key battleground states are making their closing arguments. And with the balance of power up for grabs in Congress, both parties are bringing out political heavyweights in some of the most competitive races. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez is in Miami with the latest.
Fighting for him. Give it up for your next Senator, Herschel Walker!
In the home stretch to Tuesday, Georgia GOP challenger Herschel Walker is working to portray his opponent, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock, as soft on crime.
He's the reason we have these police officers, that the recruitment is down.
In New York, Republican Lee Zeldin is pressing a similar argument in his battle against Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul.
It's making sure that we are unapologetically backing our selfless, dedicated men and women in law enforcement.
We have to continue getting illegal guns out of the hands of people who do harm to others. It's that simple.
President Biden is set to campaign for Hochul outside New York City today, and former President Donald Trump rallied in Miami.
With a Republican Congress, we must also pass critical funding to hire thousands more police officers nationwide in order to put the violent criminals behind bars and keep them behind bars.
Mr. Trump is hoping strong GOP results on Tuesday will spark momentum for his widely expected 2024 run. On Saturday, Trump, President Biden, and former President Barack Obama focused on Pennsylvania's pivotal Senate race, where Republican Mehmet Oz and Democrat John Fetterman are in a tight contest.
John Fetterman believes Joe Biden didn't spend enough money.
Make sure we send Dr. Oz back across the bridge and send me to D.C. so I can stand and fight for all of you.
Across the U.S., more than 40 million Americans have cast their ballots in early voting, both by mail and in person. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Miami.
Today in Phoenix, police confirmed to CBS News that officers responded to a call at a building where suspicious items were located inside the mail. One CBS News affiliate reports that it concerned an envelope that was delivered to the campaign office of Carrie Lake, the Republican candidate for governor. Phoenix police say there are no reports of injuries or illness. Later, we take a look at the tomb of King Tut.
Plus, we do have some more rain chances in the forecast over the next few days. We're going to break that down for you coming up next. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Sunday for us today. Temperatures quite a bit better than what we did see during the daytime hours on Saturday, as we stayed into the 50s for highs. But today was pretty good as we warmed all the way up into the 70s during the afternoon. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Look at our past 36 hours. So upper 50s yesterday. It was kind of chilly. It didn't get cold last night. We dropped back upper 40s. But we did go lower 70s today, which is pretty good. We'll definitely take that. Let's go outside. It's 53 in Stockton. It's 52 in Anderson. 55 in Pittsburgh. Chanute is sitting at about 56. 7th, range line. Partly cloudy. 56. Northerly winds at about 10. Humidity is at 67%. As we go through the night into the morning hours, midnight 54, 50 by 6. Overnight low right around 48 degrees. But we do have these mid and upper level clouds, which are increasing across the region. This is what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours. A lot of mid, upper level clouds, weak little wave kind of to our south that eventually will tap into a little bit of moisture and give us some rain chances by the time we head into tomorrow night and then also on Tuesday. Way out toward the Pacific Northwest, that is our next storm system that will affect us on Thursday with another strong cold front. All right, let's go through time for us tonight. Temperatures kind of upper 40s to near 50 for most of us by the morning. You see a lot of clouds, random little shower. I think we'll stay dry. We can't rule out a random sprinkle as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. But our high temps not quite as warm, mid 60s during the afternoon. Tomorrow night, clouds continue to thicken up. And then after midnight toward Tuesday morning, so here's 7 a.m., some scattered showers, maybe even a random isolated thunderstorm start to get going on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. These lift northeast. Of course, Tuesday is voting Tuesday, so we are going to have some showers out there, especially mid-late morning into the early afternoon hours. And then most of these will lift out of the region. And then I think the second half of the afternoon looks pretty good, partly sunny. High temps into lower 70s on Tuesday afternoon. But the clouds really kind of stick around even Tuesday night and into Wednesday. Here's your day planner. 50 in the morning, 60 by noon, 62 by 5. High temp right around 67, which isn't bad for us tomorrow. Rain chances with those clouds. You can see maybe a random sprinkle, and then they start to creep up as we get into Tuesday morning. Let's go down the road because we do have another strong cold front. This is going to roll in by Thursday. So ahead of it, 70s for highs on Wednesday. As we go into Thursday, here comes that next system. Pretty strong cold front. With it, showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, and then much colder behind it. We're looking at highs upper 40s on Friday. We go down into the 20s by the time we head into Saturday morning. But most of this week looks pretty good, at least the temperature. 67 tomorrow, 72 on voting Tuesday, 79 on Wednesday, chances for thunderstorms by the time we head into Thursday, late Thursday, and then quite a bit cooler as we go into the weekend.
Yeah, those temps look great.
Yeah, not bad.
Looking forward to a nice, pleasant week.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Doug. It was 100 years ago this month that a tomb of one mummy was dug up, and one CBS reporter takes a deeper look.
It is the immortal face of the boy king, Tutankhamun, whose treasures remained hidden in the sand for over 3,000 years. Until this moment, 1 century ago, when a stairwell led British Egyptologist Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, to one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever.
Whose coffin of solid gold reflects the genius of unknown craftsmen.
Tutankhamun was only 9 years old when he ascended the throne to rule during the 18th dynasty in ancient Egypt. But after just 10 years on the throne, he was dead and buried in the Valley of Kings in a tomb filled with gold, jewels, and works of art, crammed into these tiny chambers. Dr. Salima Ikram is professor of Egyptology at the American University in Cairo.
Some scholars have recently questioned the fact that maybe Tutankhamun's tomb has not been completely excavated, that perhaps behind the burial chamber lies a second chamber that has not been found yet.
A tantalizing mystery that will only fuel the 100 years of fascination that surrounds King Tut as he's now become known. Over the decades, his riches have been put on display in museums around the world, as people of all ages and walks of life marvel at Egypt's ancient and deeply sophisticated past.
Tutankhamun is the only pharaoh who has sustained and looked after his country beyond his reign, because he has been the gift that keeps on giving. So really, he is the one true pharaoh of Egypt who has been loyal to his country for several thousand years.
Archaeologists believe Tutankhamun's successors tried to erase his record from history, but the discovery of his tomb 1 century ago has given the boy king an immortality unimaginable at the time of his death. Imtiaz Taib, CBS News, London.
All right, so our good friend Danny Terza joins us now. Missouri Southern hosted the MIAA Cross Country Championships this weekend.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the men's and women's results coming up. Plus, Pitt State had a big win over Washburn on Saturday. We'll hear from the team next. The Missouri Southern women made a statement in their season opener, beating 23-ranked Lubbock Christian on Saturday. Today, the Lions are back in action in Kansas City. Southern faces Minnesota Duluth this afternoon, and the Lions grind out another big win, 54-51. Lacey Stokes scores 13 points and has 3 steals. Maddie Stokes adds another 13 points with 8 rebounds. The Kansas City Chiefs are home this evening, facing the Tennessee Titans in primetime. Both teams enter the game with a 5-2 record. The Titans have won 5 straight games. Kansas City comes back to tie it at 17 in the 4th quarter. The Pitt State Gorillas claimed the MIAA title on Saturday, beating Washburn 37-23. It was an extra special day for wide receiver Mark Wieland. Wieland led the Gorillas with 72 receiving yards and scored his first touchdown of the season. Prior to Saturday's game, he had just 1 reception. Wieland also earned the game ball for his performance.
It felt great. I just wanted to help my team. I've been waiting on my moment and finally came. I know I had it in me, and I got great teammates that kept reminding me that my time's going to come, and just they've been helping me keep my head on. And it's been hard, I'm not going to lie, with not playing, but it finally came.
It couldn't happen to a better human being either. He's an outstanding kid and has a great story, and we're so excited to have him here before he did all of that, and then so happy for him to go out and perform like he did today.
Kansas picked up a huge win over 18-ranked Oklahoma State on Saturday. It's their first win over a ranked opponent since 2010. The Jayhawks beat the Cowboys 37-16, and Devin Neal had a monster game. You have to listen to these stats: 224 rushing yards and a touchdown, and 110 receiving yards. The win makes Kansas bowl eligible for the first time since 2008.
I'm really proud of them and happy for them, you know, especially when you look at the guys that have been around a long time and everything that they've kind of gone through. They persevered, they stayed with this program. You know, we're pretty demanding and things, and there's a reason why we are is for moments like this. And we still have 3 games we got to get ready to play, and that's one of the things we talked about, is that this isn't over, okay? But the cool thing is that we get to be around each other longer, and a lot of these guys have no idea what that's really about.
The MIAA Cross Country Championships took place on Saturday. Missouri Southern hosted this year's event. The Southern men are the conference champions. Gideon Kimutai won the individual title, running the 8K race in 23 minutes, 38.19 seconds. It's his 3rd MIAA championship. Ryan Riddle came in 2nd. Nebraska Kearney placed 2nd as a team, and Pittsburgh State finished 3rd. Matthew Oglesby crossed the finish line in 3rd place, with teammate Diego Contreras behind him in 5th. On the women's side, the Gorillas win the title. They had 3 athletes place in the top 5. Gentry Alderson came in 3rd, Laura Murdoch in 4th, and Marissa Dick in 5th. Pittsburgh State has now won 4 of the last 5 conference titles. The Nebraska Kearney women placed 2nd as a team, while Missouri Southern came in 6th. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
All right, it's time now for our Sunday box office tradition. Next weekend, the Black Panther sequel is expected to dominate the box office. Until then, another big screen superhero is trying to stay #1. David Daniel has the early estimates for this weekend's top 5 films.
Lord, repel this devil's powers.
Pray for the Devil fell from 3rd to 5th place in its 2nd weekend in theaters, earning $3.9 million. The horror film Smile made $4 million for 4th place and a domestic total of nearly $100 million. Ticket to Paradise finished in 3rd place with $8.5 million. The animated adventure One Piece film Red, the weekend's only new wide release, made $9.5 million, opening in 2nd place.
I kneel before no one.
$18.5 million gave Black Adam a third straight weekend in the top spot, and likely the last before Black Panther: Wakanda Forever takes over theaters. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next weekend's Black Panther. Doug, what do you have for us?
Well, weather-wise, it looks pretty good. Temperatures over the next few days, 67. We are going to have a lot of clouds for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. And then we may get a few showers sneaking in here late tomorrow night and then into Tuesday. I know Tuesday's boating Tuesday. It's not going to be widespread or last all day. Near 80 on Wednesday, strong cold front Thursday, and significantly cooler by the time we head into next weekend.
All right, well, sounds good. Danny, I know we had a lot of stuff this weekend and probably more stuff coming up this week. What do you have for us?
Yeah, well, Pitt State and Missouri Southern enter their last week before their last game of the regular season on Saturday. They'll both be at home this week, so last time to make an impression in the regular season.
Absolutely, and then fingers crossed for Pitt State to finish out the regular season undefeated. Well, all right, guys, well, that's our time for now. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all here next time.